Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy. Today, a long-term update, 1,000 round review of my Bul Armory Cherokee Compact. In case you don't know about the Cherokee, this is a Israeli-made CZ75 clone. This is a double-action, single-action, inverted rail hammer-fired gun, chambered in 9mm. This guy has the extended grip with a shorter slide for carrying, holds 17 rounds. It's almost like a miniature CZ75 combined with a CZ-P07, but made in Israel. So again, didn't really ever expect to make this video. This is kind of picked up on the cheap. It was a fire sale online. I bought it for a price that was just too good to be true. Thought if nothing else, it could be a good truck gun for me. But then suddenly I took it to the range and started shooting it. And honestly, I was shooting better with this gun out of the box than guns that cost maybe over $1,000 without lots of practice. So I just found this gun to be a very easy gun to point and shoot and stay on target. So long story short, I've got to 1,000 rounds way faster than I thought I ever would. And I just want to share with you guys my rants and raves about the gun, things I love and things I don't love about it, and show you how it wears after about 1,000 rounds, which is surprisingly good. Again, the Cherokee was made by Bul Armory. It was introduced around 2000 and used for various military branches of the government or for the military until, I'm assuming, 2022, when I believe this was discontinued. As of 2023, it is no longer listed on Bul Armory's website. And again, I bought it on a clearance sale, so I believe it's been discontinued. But if you can find one, let's say you're researching one you found on Gunbroker or something, I would highly recommend it. It has been a fantastic shooter. I made a 200 round follow-up video initially, and I commented that I had 2 failures to eject after 200 rounds. A joke that was 99% reliable. But I believe that was really more of a me issue because I was shooting this thing as it came from the factory. I didn't lube it up before. And a viewer commented on that. Since then, I've had this thing aggressively oiled, as you'll see in a second, and I've had 0 failures of the next 800 rounds. So the gun has been incredibly reliable and incredibly easy to shoot. It's just, I think with all CZs and all the inverted rail guns, I tend to shoot them really well. Trigger is very interesting, terrible and awesome at the same time. I'll talk about that. But again, just think about all the things I like and dislike about it. First, I'll go with the dislikes. I'll just get that out of the way. It is the double action pull on this thing is insane. It is insanely heavy. I'll go and do a safety check so the internet doesn't get mad at me. Comes with 2 17-round magazines. And there's no decocker on this model. It's meant to be carried cocked and locked. And I believe that is the case because nobody in their right mind would shoot this guy in double action. I didn't bring my lineman trigger gauge out for it, but this thing is an absolute bear. Like I almost couldn't pull it back. That's easily 12 pounds, if not more. Super heavy double action pull. But the single action is actually nice. Let me let it go all the way out. So single action, again, I don't know the weight, probably 4 pounds or so, but real clean, comes up to a stop right there and breaks instantly. Reset, also very nice. Pretty short reset, minimal take up, and you're right on the wall, and it shoots. So the single action trigger on here is super nice. I don't believe it was meant to ever fire in double action because you should load one in the chamber, rack it, load one in the chamber, and then carry it cocked and locked until you're ready to go like a 1911. The double action is just absolutely too heavy to pull. So love the single action, don't love the double action. I'll tell you, as a left-hander, there's not much on here for lefties, but I've learned to get used to that in a right-handed world. Your slide catch, slide stop over here, and your safety are all for right-handers only. Don't know if they're reversible, don't think they are, doesn't really matter, it's fine. I've gotten used to it. So it's not good for lefties, got a big heavy double action pull, and the only other really knock is the fact that you can't find any holsters for it. So even if I want to keep it in my truck, it's kind of hard to find anything that fits it, at least that I've seen. I would love to hear from you guys. If you found a holster that works for this thing, please post the comments below so people researching will know that as well. Because that's the only thing I've really had negative to say about the gun. Things I love about it, I'll start up top, are the sights. Some of my CZ sights are actually super duper low and hard to see, but these are not. These are very tall sights, ramped here on the back, and good blade up front. But again, this has got the serrated back here that's adjustable. So you have a nice adjustable rear sight. Really easy to catch that sight picture there. So super easy to shoot. And as with all CZ75s, the thing I really love is this super low bore axis with the inverted rail system. Again, in case you don't know about that, CZ75s are famous for letting the slide right inside the rails instead of on top. Most slides on top of the rails and are much higher. So when the slide comes back, you have a higher center of gravity and more steel flying back, which could, in theory, cause more muzzle flip. This one, you only have this small bit coming back at you, which keeps the gun very low in your hand and makes it super easy to both point and stay on target because the mass coming back is not very much at all. So I love the fact that you have just so little mass coming back at you when you fire the gun. So it's super accurate. For me, again, I can shoot really tight groups the second I pick it up. So love the fact that it's just CZ's inverted rail system, and they do a really good job with it, just making this gun super accurate. Talked about the trigger already. It does have some extra details if you were curious. It has some texturing on the front here behind the pick rail. It does have a pick rail for your lights, lasers, and chainsaws, but it also has the ability to give you a really nice grip. It's got a nice beaver tail up here, so you have a nice high purchase there with a really nice undercut combined with these finger grooves, makes it really comfortable to hold. Additionally, this thing is grippy. I'll start with the serrations. So one knock on the CZ75s is there's not a lot of real estate to grab a hold of up here. You only have just a finger's worth. But these serrations are absolutely super aggressive. They catch everything, but you can easily grab it with 2 fingers and pull back. Tons of grip on these serrations, but even more grip on these textures, on the grip. Look at the stippling and the texture on the side. This thing is absolutely it's like, it just sticks in your hand. The high undercut here, the beaver tail here, and the finger grooves and this grippiness. This gun will not come out of your hands. Now, again, I mentioned I haven't found a holster. I don't know what this would be like to carry if it was sort of big against your body, because it would probably rub because it is super aggressive. Hopefully you can see the details there. But again, I am really surprised how much I love this gun, how easy it is to shoot. So those are some of the likes and dislikes of the gun. I'll show you the insides if you're curious how it looks after 1,000 rounds. I'll take this apart off camera so YouTube doesn't yell at me. In case you're not sure about how to do that, you line these 2 dots up here on the slide and the frame. At the same time, push this guy through. I'm gonna take it off camera and do it. You hear a noise of me just pushing on the table. Pull that slide stuff out. And this just comes right off the frame. And again, I mentioned before, when I got it from the factory, it wasn't heavily lubricated, but this guy, I keep him pretty clean. This is after 1,000 rounds. You can see that the slide rides inside the rails here. There's a couple of heavy inserts there that I keep well lubricated here and here that holds everything. So that's a close-up look at the trigger in there. Now inside the slide, again, you can see pretty heavily lubricated through here. Once I did that, this thing has eaten every piece of ammo I put through there. It is just really wet inside. Another point about taking this apart, you'll see that the guide rod sits right inside a little groove there. So if you're not careful when you put it back together, you can do it like this, and the gun will actually still fire that way, but makes an awful noise. So you'll make sure that this thing, that little nub on the back, is seated inside your barrel into that little corner right there. But again, the barrel holding up really, really well. It's been, again, super impressed with the quality. If you look at the build inside the slide, it's actually, for me, nicer than my CZs, I think. It's just, machining is good in there. And again, I know I have it super oiled up, but it has been a fantastic shooter. Once I've learned to keep it lubricated inside, 0 failures, super accurate to shoot. So again, it's easy to get this thing off center. Just make sure you pull down and get it in there. So it pops in just like that. Put this back on the rails, inside the rails rather. So as always, I would love to hear from you guys watching this. Do you have experience with the Bul Armory Cherokee? Like it, love it. Is there a full-size version? This is the compact. I'm not seeing what talk about a full-size version. I'll tell you, in my first 1,000 rounds, I'm a bigger fan than I ever thought I would be. So super impressed with this gun so far. If you're researching one and get your hands on one, I would highly recommend it. I really like this gun and would love to hear from you guys. Do you have this gun? If so, please sound off. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. It'd help me grow my little channel. Thanks again for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy.